Continuing on with the Halachot of Lashon Hara, we're in the third section of this book, different classifications of the Halachot of Lashon Hara. We explained last time that Lashon Hara is often relative, which is a very important halacha that we spent a full halacha on. Today we'll discuss a few more different important ideas about the Halachot of Lashon Hara. First of all, in the eyes of the listener. He explains and says, if the speaker sees nothing negative in the information he wishes to give over, but knows that the listener will consider it a fault on the part of the subject, the speaker should not relate it. What's an example of this? It's very common in Israel. He gives an example given is to report that someone eats food with a certain hechsher. So in Israel, we know there's 1,000 different types of hechsherim, and every area or location trusts one and might not trust another. Not to discuss if that's correct or not, but that's the reality. He explains that if you said, oh yeah, this guy ate at that restaurant with this hechsher, even though he has the right to trust it, and the listener doesn't trust it, that knowing that the listener does not consider the hechsher to be reliable, even if the speaker himself trusts a particular hechsher, it would still be considered Lashon Hara to relate to information. So it's a very interesting, unique element that the Chafetz Chaim brings about Halachot of Lashon Hara, that again, it applies to the listener even if the speaker has no fault in that problem. They give another example on the bottom that unfortunately might be more common. A different scenario would be to relate that a couple is getting divorced. That they bring it falls into this category. There's a machloket in the achronim. They bring it out on the bottom just to make it short. Some say that even though it's as long as it's not yet public information, to relay over someone's getting divorced would be this category of Lashon Hara, because in the eyes of the Hamon Am, in the eyes of the masses, getting divorced is still negative. It's still a bad thing, which it always should be viewed that way. I'm not endorsing divorce, God forbid. So because of that reason, it would be under this category of Lashon Hara. Other achronim say because anyone gets divorced eventually becomes public, it wouldn't necessarily be Lashon Hara. But this is another example where it could fall into this category where the listener hears something, even though the speaker doesn't find any fault in it, it would still be considered Lashon Hara. And the last category for today is casting known information in negative light. Rechilut does not necessarily have to consist of information that the listener did not already know. Reframing existing knowledge in a manner that causes negative feelings between two people is enough to characterize a statement as rechilut. So they bring an example. One meets a friend after a din Torah and inquires of him about the outcome. He replies that he lost the case. The person should not respond by declaring that the Beit Din made a mistake and that the losing party should have been the victor. Even though the speaker is not relating any new facts, finding fault with them is a violation of rechilut. Reframing information everyone already knows that rekindles that negative sentiment is still considered Lashon Hara and Rechilut, and it's something to be mindful of before we ever open our mouths. Chazak Baruch and Shavua Tov.